How's it going, guys? I've got all the branding today. Some exciting news has come out for the X Wing Alliance the past few days. The design team posted its first preview article detailing its first step plans in releasing standardized loadout pilots for three different factions. There will be an evacuation of Dakar, as well as a most wanted type bounty hunter SL pack for Scum. As a Scum player myself, I'm super excited about this. Now, the article does go into more depth. So, what I'm going to do is together, we're going to read along and I'll break down my thoughts on it after. Welcome to our first preview for the upcoming standard loadout card packs. The X-Wing Alliance will be releasing after Adepticon, marking the beginning of the XWA designed content for X-Wing. We first wanted to make it clear that the new content being worked on is still a work in progress. As much as we'd like to share the content in full now, we feel it's best to not show off the work that is still being tested. We want to give each new piece of content the testing time it needs. Trust us, we're super excited to show you our work. We ask and appreciate your patience for the time being. Next, a small explanation as to why we decided to start with creating new standard loadout cards for X-Wing. Standard loadout cards offer the best path to make new content that has limited interaction with current content in the game. They're all self-contained outside of any abilities that affect other friendly ships, either from the new standard loadouts or from pilots and upgrades in the game now. With that, it allows us to mitigate the chance these new abilities break the game in some capacity. This doesn't mean we're taking it easy on these in testing. They're being put through the ringer as much as we can. After determining we wanted to start with new standard loadouts for our first wave of new content, we looked at where in the game they felt most needed. Two factions stood out immediately with the Resistance and the First Order. Since neither have received any standard loadouts yet, we know fans of those factions have had a strong desire to receive standard loadouts too. Once recognized, we concluded that Scum shouldn't get left behind. With just a couple standard loadouts from just one chassis in the YT-2400, Scum has a vast array of chassis and great opportunities for standard loadouts cards designed to really expand on their faction's fantasy potential. The new standard loadout packs, First Order, Resistance, and Scum. For both the Resistance and the First Order, we decided to combine the opening scenes from Star Wars The Last Jedi. The First Order's attack on the evacuating Resistance forces at Dakar and the follow-up chase in the follow-up chase in the Dechi system, where the Resistance tried to escape and unaware that the First Order could track them through hyperspace. This means that the pack will have pilots such as Poe Dameron and Taliesin Lintra leading the MG-100 Star Fortresses against the Fulminatrix, while the First Order will have Kylo Ren unleashing the First Order's might against the Raddus. You'll see the Resistance forces performing acts of heroism at the cost of their own safety at times, while others may try to save those trying to sacrifice themselves for the cause. The First Order, on the other hand, is out for vengeance for what happened to Starkiller Base. With reckless determination, they will do whatever it takes to bring down every single last ship in the Resistance. For Scum and Villainy, we decided to go with a different approach. Instead of having a pack based on a single scene or battle, we took inspiration from different shows and canon, creating what could be considered an all-star team of the faction. You will see the famed bounty hunters, including Cad Bane and Dengar, notorious characters such as the Mandalorian or Bo-Katan Kryze, have been both the hunters and hunted. There were pilots and thematic moments and times we wanted to capture for these new standard loadout cards. Such as Han Solo during his infamous Kessel Run, and Boba Fett during his chapters in the Book of Boba Fett. Now that's all we have for today. We hope this first preview of the new content that XWA has in store for you brings you some excitement of what's to come. This is just the tip of the iceberg, both from our first wave of new content and everything we have in store for farther into the future. We'll be unveiling the full cards in the future, so make sure to stay alert. So the first thing about this article is that the XWA is taking really great steps for the initial phase. Now, I'm seeing some folks react to this in different ways. A lot of it has been positive, which is awesome. We've been clamoring for new for a long time, and this is a great step in that direction. Really excited from what I've seen about what we will be getting. But I think some other folks, maybe folks who aren't on the SL hype train, or maybe just reading into this the wrong way, which this happens all the time with the internet. I just want to talk about my own thoughts and feelings, and also as on the PR side of things. What does this all mean? So first of all, SLs have their place in the game when they're balanced and designed properly when it comes to abilities and self sufficiency that we haven't necessarily seen with every standardized loadout pilot. We definitely want to price things for both play, but also when it comes to their ability to be good. The other thing is just because first step taking SLs, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's only going to be SLs that the XWA only ever makes. In fact, I think it's the wisest and most fair thing to do as a first phase to release SLs for factions that never got any, so that every faction can have a combination of list building that features custom pilots. Or maybe a blend of both custom and SLs. Or if people want to just take all SLs, you can do that too. Agency and list building is certainly important to the XWA. There's no intention to make SLs an SL or Star Wars X-wing the miniatures game an SL only game. That was kind of a tinfoil cap theory a few people employed years ago, and it never came to fruition. And that's not gonna happen. You don't have to worry about that. This is on the last side of things, just from a logistics perspective, the design space for standardized loadout pilots is a lot more approachable than just going straight up into designing brand new pilots and brand new upgrades. There is a lot of rift effects that happen from doing such things, and it doesn't mean we aren't willing to do it, but a lot of time and testing has to be taken into consideration when it comes to designing anything new, and we certainly employed those tactics with these new SLs. What does any of this mean? Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. You should be excited. I think you should be excited. I'm not telling you what to do, but ultimately, I think this is going to be a really great addition to the game that we all wanted and needed. Some of you who aren't as big into standardized loadouts, I totally understand, but you should give it a shot. Come to the table with good faith in mind. Give it a shot. If it's for you, if it's not for you, that's up to you. But you can still certainly list build as you want to, because with the XWA beta points, I don't know about you guys, but I've been having a lot of fun playing and list building. And I think you guys should just give it a shot. I think it's going to be great. I'm super excited.